Hey there, students. My students today asked me if I would make a video talking about the James Charles controversy. And I was like, well, this is U.S. history, and I'm used to talking about that in European history, but still. And so let's go ahead and talk about that, the James Charles controversy, which seems to be a big deal right now when it's usually not. But this all started in 1603, where Elizabeth I, the Virgin Queen, died, which ended the Tudor dynasty. Hey there. And this ended the Tudor dynasty. And then James VI of Scotland was like the next of kin. Oh, that's some pretty cool makeup over there, right? Maybe I should buy some. But with that, she dies, and James VI of Scotland was actually the next heir to the throne, next in line. So they said, why don't you come in and be James I of England. But the thing is even though the people of England had put James in this position, it was really like James gets in this position, he's like all about the divine right of kings. And I mean, all the people in England are like, we put you here, right? It's like there needs to be like the parliament, and you need to like talk to us because you'd be nothing without us. And James is like, no, divine right of kings, King James Bible, Jamestown Colony, all of that. And then he died. And then, of course, there's after James came Charles, James I, then Charles I. And Charles was like, all like, hey, divine right of kings. And Parliament's like, no, like, and Charles like ship money and all of that kind of stuff. And he's making these new taxes without Parliament, and Parliament's finally like, okay then, like, we're gonna have a civil war and we're gonna cut your head off. And so that's really the first phase of the James Charles controversy, was the English Civil War. And then after the interregnum and Cromwell and all that, then you've got really what we could call the Charles James controversy, because then you got the Restoration with Charles II and James II. And wow, looks like there's somewhere to sit here. This is kind of a cool place. Should come here more often, do some videos. And so Charles II, the Merry Monarch, is king, and then he dies, and then his brother James II comes to the throne, and he was Catholic. Okay, so it's like the English people had put him there, and then he's all like, oh, God put me on the throne, and they're just like, get out of here. And that's the Glorious Revolution. So once the Glorious Revolution happens, that's where you had James I, Charles I, Charles II, James II. And then that's really kind of the James Charles controversy. I'm not sure if that's exactly what they wanted me to talk about, but it's kind of what I felt like talking about and what I actually know about. This other thing with the makeup wearing guy like losing his 3 million subscribers or something. Yeah, but I mean, Charles got his head cut off, so I feel like that is even like a cooler story than whatever people were wanting me to talk about. If you're still watching, I've got some more substantive videos on, the Glorious Revolution, the English Civil War, James I, Charles II, James II. So feel free to take a look, and it is always a pleasure.